The Singapore we know today is an enviably clean and green society that can boast of a high standard in public health because of the diligence of its people and a sound solid waste management system. Our clean and green environment did not come naturally. It is only through safe and efficient means of disposing waste that we have come to enjoy the comfort and healthy environment associated with the Singaporean way of life. Following rapid urbanization and economic development since Singapore's independence in the 60s, the amount of waste disposed of on our island has risen twofold every decade, from 1,200 tons a day in the 70s to about 7,000 tons a day in the current year. Every day, licensed waste collection companies collect waste generated throughout Singapore. All incinerable waste is transported to one of our 4 incineration plants located at Lupanda, Tuas, Senoko and Tuas South. The ashes from the incineration plants together with non-incinerable waste such as industrial ash and sludge, as well as construction and demolition debris, are then transported to Tuas Marine Transfer Station and shipped over to Semakau Landfill, the world's first of its kind offshore landfill created entirely from the sea space. Development of Semakau Landfill began in 1995. To establish the landfill space required, a 7-kilometer perimeter rock bund was constructed to enclose the sea space between Pulau Semakau and Pulau Sakeng. The bund was lined with impermeable membrane and a layer of marine clay to ensure that leachate from the waste is contained within the landfill area. Internal sand bunds were then constructed to divide the landfill space into tipping cells. Other ancillary facilities such as a wharf, transfer building, generator building and workshop were also built on the enlarged Pulau Sakeng to ensure self-sustainability of the landfill's operations. Concurrently, construction of Tuas Marine Transfer Station, tugboats, barges and specialized landfill machinery progressed smoothly on schedule. After 4 years, at a total cost of 610 million Singapore dollars and with a landfill area of 350 hectares, Semakau started operations on the 1st of April 1999. Pre-preparations of tipping cells are necessary before landfilling can begin. In dormant position, the tipping cells of Semakau landfill are lagoons connected to the sea via concrete pipes. Before a tipping cell becomes active, the opening of the pipes are first sealed and seawater pumped out to create the concave empty space into which the wastes will be dumped. This is the crucial first step before the entire process begins at Tuas Marine Transfer Station. At the Tuas Marine Transfer Station, vehicles discharge wastes directly into barges. At the end of the day, the hatch covers are closed and the barges are pushed by tugboats on a 25-kilometer journey to Semakau landfill. Upon arrival, the barges are berthed within a transfer building for the unloading operations. Large excavators with specially designed grabs are used to unload wastes from the barges either directly onto large 35-ton payload off-road dump trucks or onto the stockpile area. Wastes stockpiled are then scooped up by wheel loaders and loaded onto the dump trucks, which then make their way to the tipping cells for disposal. At the tipping site, wastes are discharged from the trucks and then leveled and compacted by bulldozers and compactors. Being Singapore's only landfill, it is crucial to sustain Semakau because of the difficulty and costliness of finding precious land or sea space as an alternative for disposal of refuse. At our current rate, Semakau landfill would be completely filled by 2045. But before this becomes a reality, every individual must play his or her part in waste reduction through the 3 R's green practices, namely reduce, reuse, and recycle. In Singapore, the National Environment Agency, or NEA, is responsible for formulating and implementing strategies to reduce waste. With a goal to strive towards zero landfill and then towards zero waste, NEA uses 4 important strategies. Volume reduction by incineration. 4 incineration plants take charge of disposing all incinerable waste, subsequently reducing the volume of refuse by 90%, filling the Semakau landfill at a slower pace. Waste recycling. In the Singapore Green Plan 2012, NEA has set the target of increasing the recycling rate to 60% by 2012 by promoting communal and industrial recycling. The current success of industrial waste recycling sees recycling facilities in Singapore now recycling wood waste, plastic waste, e-waste, tires, and horticultural waste. In communal recycling, the National Recycling Program was introduced by the NEA, providing recycling bags or bins to each household, which are then collected every fortnightly by the appointed recycling companies. Reduce landfill waste. Recycling of non-incinerable waste has also been successful with recycling facilities in Singapore currently recycling construction and demolition waste and copper slag from shipyards. To reduce the landfill wastes further, projects are in the pipeline to recycle ash and sludge, including bottom ash from incineration plants, into useful construction materials. Waste minimization. Uncontrolled generation of waste could negate the efforts of recycling. So, in order to tackle the challenge at its source, NEA works with manufacturers and retailers to devise plans and measures to use less material, less packaging, and adopt recycling-friendly designs for their products. Besides the 4 effective strategies in place, NEA also encourages leisure activities on the island that can further aid the public in better appreciation and understanding of the waste situation in Singapore. Since the operation of the landfill, great efforts have been put into beautifying and enhancing the environment through planting and landscaping in an effort to transform the western section of Semakau landfill from a barren sandbund into an idyllic and scenic attraction. With a foresight to turning the landfill into a natural recreational haven, Dr. Yaacob Ibrahim, Minister for the Environment and Water Resources, opened up Semakau landfill to members of the public for recreational activities on 16 July 2005. Since then, 3 interest groups, namely Raffles Museum of Biodiversity Research, Nature Society Singapore, and Sport Fishing Association Singapore, have been actively conducting intertidal walks. Bird watching and sport fishing respectively. Schools in Singapore are also actively organizing educational tours to Semakau landfill for students to learn about the waste management system in Singapore, design and operation of Semakau landfill, and also to